What up, guys? This is Casey is Raw again. While I was doing my Atari Jaguar review, I stumbled on a good idea. Is like I have this crate and another box full of controllers, so figured I'll show you the controllers I have in my collection. I used to have way more controllers in my collection, but because I don't really play a lot of video games with people here at the house that often, especially ever since my wife passed. And I don't live with my brother in law no more, so it's kind of like, you know what? I'll keep two controllers in the collection of the system, unless it's some weird looking controller. So let's see what I got. I threw a couple of these back in here. Um, This is my second Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It is wireless, but you need batteries. It's a good alternative, but there's a couple things they have taken out of this to make it cheaper. Uh, there's my Joy-Cons on the Joy-Con grip. With my original Joy-Con and my second Joy-Con I got. But I love that wood skin. And then coming into some weird looking controllers. I hadn't opened this up and tried these out yet, but for $4, having these weird looking NES controllers with turbo switches, I thought these were pretty cool looking. I used to have the Duke controller for my Xbox, but when I saw this, I don't even know how much it was. It doesn't even have a price, but I had to get the Duke controller again. I just showed you guys the Atari Jaguar controller. I say it's very underrated. I think it's a good controller. The 3DO. I showed you guys this one, the 3DO controller, where vintage stock thought this was a Sega Genesis controller, even though it says Panasonic and 3DO. Can't even get it focused. There it goes. It says 3DO, but you got that cheap. This is, well, even though it has a price sticker, I had this for the Super Nintendo, but I had the game. I don't know if I lost the gun, but this is for a Lethal Enforcer game on the Super Nintendo. A red Dreamcast controller with two VMUs in there. The one with the supposed to be with, and the one generic one. I showed you guys this recently. This is the NES Joy-Con for the Switch. I got this picked up at a flea market really cheap. I think like $5-10. It's the arcade stick for the Sega Genesis. Pretty badass. My girlfriend gave me a bunch of these 64 controllers. Well, I went through a few of them, and I was like, I'd keep this one and maybe another one. Dangling right beside it was the Atari 7800 joystick. I really need to get the European one. Here's another knockoff NES controller. This one comes with two Etcher buttons. Kind of weird, I like that. This is a kind of mangled version of Nintendo 64 controller. If I played this with this back in the day, I think I would enjoy the 64 a little bit more better. Even though it looks awkward, but I think I would play it a lot better with this one. Obviously gotta have a PS2 controller. This is, I showed before, I have this Sega, this is a Sega controller for, it's Bluetooth to the Switch. And I think you can use it for other systems this is from 8-Bit Do. I'm having a little trouble, linking this to the Switch right now. This is a controller for the Hyperscan. Kind of weird looking controller, but it's okay feeling. It's not bad, but I don't know why you need shoulder buttons and trigger buttons for that system. I got a GameCube controller, original GameCube controller. And I think I had this one when I first bought it in 2001. It was because I had that diamond plate skin on this and also on my original GameCube. I sold that a long time ago. I got an R-Jaguar controller. Gotta have a zapper. A Wii remote with the classic controller attached to it. Next. Oh, this actually, I need to put this with the Halo box because, or say it right beside it, this is the green Halo edition of the Xbox S controller. Keep that to the side. Recently, I picked this third-party Sega Genesis controller. This is not one of those new ones came out, but this is like, oh, you know what? Sega Genesis, why not? Controller. There's a TurboGrafx controller. It's like an NES controller. This is a arcade stick for the Sega Master System. A DVD controller for the original Xbox. And you'd have to have that damn thing to play DVDs on your original Xbox. If you don't, it will not play DVDs. I heard Microsoft did that just to get around paying money to who owned the DVD name and brand, whatever. Got to have Atari joystick. Oh, I actually found a cart for the Sega Saturn. I should pull that out. Nice, I just dropped the controller. Now I'm starting to get a bunch of doubles. Like, this goes to my knockoff Sega Genesis. Got a Super Nintendo. Oh! Unreal. I found a Sega Master System controller. This is a Sega Master System controller. Kind of looks familiar, doesn't it? I mean, they don't have the normal D-pad, but it looks almost identical to the NES controller. I mean, just minus the select and start button. Got a normal 64 controller. I got a paddle controller for the Atari. A PS1 controller. And there's another Sega Master controller. Like I said, I try to keep at least one and two of each controller. There's another one for the 7800. Another joystick. Sega Saturn. A weird looking controller for the Nintendo. It's like, looks like a giant button. It's a little dirty because I got this at a flea market. There's an Arduino controller. Yeah, this look kind of familiar. This is for the Sega Master System. Kind of looks familiar, like a zapper, wouldn't you say? It's almost identical. It's damn near the same fucking thing. And what's funny, I heard someone in Europe was having a shootout with this zapper because it was black, and I guess in the 80s you wouldn't know if this was a real gun or not. Oh, see, this is what I thought. I went further. Here's my other guns for the Super Nintendo, and this is the original ones I got because everything has tape on it. Trying to look if there's anything else cool in here. I think I have this weird plug and play system. Let's see what else I got. I told this story before. Me and my brother-in-law bought this for my late wife for her birthday, and it's the Resident Evil chainsaw controller for the PlayStation 2, and it also comes with a burlap sack with the Resident Evil 4 logo on it. So that was pretty cool. And here's another thing. Here's the dog bone controller for the top loader right there. And look at that, but it's pretty good controller, except I don't know why they have those two buttons at that kind of angle. Kind of weird if you ask me. I recently showed you guys the Neo Geo controller. It's an arcade stick. So I'm gonna pick some of this up and I'll show you. I'll pull out the other one. This is what's inside the closet. I have a bunch of shit inside there. There's more stuff actually I put in here, but this cabinet, wherever, box, crate. I used to store the controllers, and I mean, I still got some, but I put more than ones on to play more in the Nintendo crate. So obviously you can see right now I got the Congo Bongos. Oh, I found some cool stuff. I found this. This is a trying to think which. This is a double trick gun game. I guess this is for the Xbox, original Xbox. It's kind of badass. I think I found this this controller at St. Charles in Whitehall. It's the only light gun controller you get for the Sega Dreamcast. I got couple 360 controller. Yeah, it started spinning here a little bit. There's another one. The official Sega Dreamcast fishing pole controller. There's a funny one. This is for one of the Pond clones. I need to figure out which one, but I don't think you can get away with that nowadays. I mean, I guarantee if I take this around town right now, people think it's an actual gun, even though it has a cord and looks plastic as hell, but I guarantee you, far away, like, think it's a real gun. Here's another Hyperscan controller, but this one, I think one of these were broken, but I thought the joystick was sticking, but I guess it's fine. Here's a weird one. I found this recently. It's a PlayStation controller, but it's the same design as a Xbox 360 controller, and even the little thing in the middle is like a 360. So it's kind of like a hybrid, if you ask me. I got a bunch of wiring. I got a third-party Sega Saturn controller, another 64 controller, another one of those grips for the Switch, where you put the Switch, put the Joy-Cons in, another TurboGrafx controller, a normal NES controller. I have another normal one. So. Oh, this is the Sega Dreamcast Sport Edition controller. I wasn't 100% sure I had that or not. This is the Wii U GameCube adapter deal to play GameCube controllers. Oh, this is the Sega Master 3D glasses. You had to have the Sega Master 1 system to plug this in the card system to play some games with the 3D glasses. It's pretty badass. I need to find a box for that. There's another green controller for the Xbox, but this is the normal Xbox One. Not Xbox controller. Got a Sega Genesis controller. A knockoff PlayStation 2 controller. I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I pretty much sold a bunch of my doubles, even though I got a hell of a lot of doubles. But, thanks for watching, guys. See ya. Bye.